the father, they rape the brother, they rape the sister, they rape the auntie, they rape the tanty, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased, and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go in a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Dance! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented, you have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here.
Trinidad and Tobago, welcome to the #1 current affairs program in our country. Real Talk with Saieed, live on Synergy Network from 7 to 8 p.m. But we run the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and right back in the evening time for another live show. So once more, viewers, we thank you for joining us. Straight into our program tonight, National Emblem of Trinidad and Tobago. Amendment Bill 2025 was passed with unanimous support from the government and the opposition in the lower house late Monday night. The law replaced Columbus' 3 ships on a coat of arms with the steel pan of the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. The viewers, in the coming weeks or the coming months, we will see the steel pan instead of Columbus' 3 ships. The bill's clause 4 introduced the gold steel pan and its icon, 2 pan sticks, into the coat of arms. Clause 5 ensures license issued under the current act remain valid with the former emblem, allowing it until January 1st, 2026. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley first announced the proposal on August 18, 2024. Minister of Tourism Randall Mitchell said, the steel pan deception on a coat of arms remain relevant to the nation, present and future identity, making it more authentic representation of our people.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, not that I have to remind us in this House, but as we know, the steel pan is an indigenous invention of Trinidad and Tobago, and the only percussive and acoustic musical instrument invented and developed in the 20th century, and is a global symbol of our country's contribution to global musical excellence. While the depiction of Columbus's ships reflect our colonial past, tied to European exploration, colonization, and domination, the depiction of the steel pan shifts our focus to our people's achievement and our own pride as an independent nation. Furthermore, the steel pan is already a globally recognized emblem of Trinidad and Tobago, and to include it on our coat of arms could only enhance our global brand and image, emphasizing the steel pan's cultural uniqueness, innovation, and its ability to symbolize unity across all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Therefore, the steel pan's depiction on the coat of arms remains relevant to our nation's present and future identity, making it a more authentic representation of our people.
Now, viewers, Moruga Tablan MP Michelle Benjamin said a UNC government would do more for the steel pan movement than a symbolic gesture. She stated that for years, the Pan Trinbago in Trin City has been in a dilapidated state. Imagine that, eh? She stated for years the Pan Trinbago in Trin City has been in a dilapidated state. So imagine, look at that building. For years that remained like that. And I believe up to today, they haven't done anything to it. Haven't done anything. They have relocated? Not relocated, no, relocated is not the word. They are going to build a massive structure in Port of Spain for Pan Trinbago headquarters. Imagine that, eh? You already spend money behind a building. Structure start, steel blocks. You stop that for years to come. Now you're going and spend millions of dollars now on a new headquarters in Port of Spain. However, Prime Minister Dr. Rowley chastised the MP by saying that she ignored the many other aspects of the steel pan movement which saw improvement under his administration, including a promise of a new Pan Trinbago headquarters which will cost $120 million. Prominent designer Gillian Bishop was tasked with creating a new emblem, but the final look of the new coat of arms has not been revealed. So Trinidad and Tobago, I guess Gillian is working on it, and in the coming weeks or the months, we might see what it looks like. But what do we do until then? Keep our mouth shut. The House of Representatives on January 13th has agreed to a government motion to extend the current state of emergency SOE for 3 months after its proclamation last month. The motion was moved by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley when Speaker Bridget Annaseth George put the vote. No voice were raised in opposition to the motion, which in fact needed just a simple majority in the selected House alone to be approved.
Honourable members, the question is, be it resolved that the proclamation made by the President on the 30th day of December 2024, declaring that a state of emergency exists in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, be extended for a further period of 3 months. All in favour say aye. Aye. Any against? The ayes have it.
So that's it there. State of emergency extended for another 3 months. Originally, the SOE was proclaimed by President Christine Kangaloo on December 30th, with the general public being notified by the Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, and the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar signaled her support, but does not believe that the SOE will succeed because nothing this government touches succeeds. Imagine that, eh? Speaking last night, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said the extension was necessary to give the police a chance to continue their work. He said by not having a curfew, the average citizen was able to move about as normal, and small business especially could continue working unhindered.
We believe that we put our officers out there to do more. We've given them additional support from the Defence Force. We're covering more ground. We're spending more time interrogating suspects. We're spending more time and need to spend more time converting information to evidence. And we are in fact spending time, hopefully detaining the deadly to reduce their ability to rain death and destruction on the innocent and the law-abiding. Madam Speaker, we need more time to have this intervention impact upon the circumstances which caused us to be here, which caused us to declare the emergency, which caused the President to be convinced that the time has come, the situation warrants it, and we are under a state of emergency, and that state of emergency and the powers that we have given to our officers should be maintained for a while longer. And Madam Speaker, on that basis, I beg to move.
So viewers, the Prime Minister wanted another 3 months. The Cabinet, the opposition, everybody wanted another 3 months to see if the SOE would work or it would not work. Let's see how it works. At the end of the 3 months, Parliament can meet again to approve a one-time extension for a further 3 months. A state of emergency cannot last for more than 3 months. Remember that, viewers. It cannot last for more than 6 months, as they say. 3 months by 3 months, and that's it. Switching gears, opposition. The opposition leader, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has asked why the government called the state of emergency SOE in December 2024 rather than in January 2024. When she called for one, she said lives could have been saved if it had been called earlier. Kamala said after 600 plus murder in 2024, the cabinet decided this is too much. She questioned, why then? It is only because of the certain people, one gang fighting another. It was done to protect the gang members, or was it done to protect the people of Trinidad and Tobago?
So here we are after 600 plus murders. On that day, just before we say New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, the cabinet decided, look, too much is too much. Why then? Is it that only because it was one gang fighting another gang? Was it done to protect the gang members? Or was it done to protect the people of Trinidad and Tobago? Because that specific ground that we are given, and the Prime Minister in his contribution earlier did refer to what happened at Bessel Street outside and what happened in Bristol Lands, and that was like maybe the last bomb to fly off and say, hey, we have to get serious and do something.
Now, viewers, Persad-Bissessar said during a media conference held on December 30th by the Acting Attorney General Stuart Young and National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines, she felt that the two men were contradicting each other.
When I listened to the press conference on Monday the 30th, which was attended by and presented by the Honourable Member for Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, the Honourable Minister Stuart Young, and may I congratulate you on your anointment as the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I wish you good luck, but I will not be voting for you. I will tell you that very clearly. And also in that was the Minister of National Security, I think Lavendale.
He's on the way out.
Lavendale Russell, he's also on the way out, so we'll have to at some point say goodbye. I listened to that, and it seemed to me that the ministers were contradicting each other. Now, the statement, I've read parts of it, madam, the statement to say what are the specific grounds for calling this state of emergency at this point in time. And the two ministers appeared to be contradicting themselves. One minister said, went through all the statistics on the horrendous crime numbers and so on. And the other minister said, no, this is about reprisals, gangs and reprisals. Not all these hundreds of people murdered this year, last year or the year before. It's about the reprisals by the gangs that woke them up to come to Maria. And then again, the Minister of National will come back. He said, no, look at these stats. And Minister Port of Spain North at the end had to come back and say, this is about reprisals, gang activity and reprisals. So which one is real? Honourable Prime Minister came to give us again all the statistics, all the crimes, all the murders that have taken place. So I don't see this statement from the President being in sync with what we've been told from the Honourable Prime Minister today, from Minister of National Security, and then Acting AG, Minister Stuart Young.
So viewers, the opposition leader noted that President's statement quoted two examples of violence. An attempt on the life of suspected gang leader Calvin Lee and an attack at Pran's Garden, Lavantil, which left 5 people dead. Gang reprisal using automatic weapon. Kamala added that the statement from the president being in sync with what the public was told. However, AG Reginald Amo called on the opposition leader to read the judgment correctly. He quoted several sections of it which said the calling of the SOE was justified and great weight was to be given to the judgment of the executive. So viewers, it is that time now. We are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, lots more right here on Real Talk.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk, the #1 current affairs program in our country. Now, viewers, we are Real Talk Financing. We are offering you 5% on fixed deposit for the month of January at our 2 locations. 14 Carney Savannah Road in Chaguanas is the brown building on the flyer, and the white building is at number 25, Superior Street in San Fernando. 5% on fixed deposit for 5 years and over. You're getting your interest up front. Now, viewers, the citizens have asked for something more, because Real Talk always given the best on time to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So when 2025 started, I said, Saieed, I'm sure your company could do better. And we got together, board of directors, had a decision, and we are offering you 5% on fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers. No other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is giving you this. So, grab the opportunity while you can for the month of January. Also, viewers, Real Talk is buying crash and damaged vehicle. This is the business we are going into now. We are buying crash and damaged vehicles. Contact me at 3391670. We can do some business. Now, your insurance might pay you off for your vehicle, but it is of value to us. So remember that, viewers, Real Talk, a new division into our company, Real Talk Group of Company. We are dealing now in crash and damaged vehicles. Remember that. We have our own wrecking service, so we can pick up your wreck. Contact 3391670 from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and you will get us. You will get us. So Trinidad and Tobago, Real Talk Equipment has a beautiful excavator. It's a 306E. It's a new model. With this 306E, viewers, it comes with a grader in front so you can grade road. So when you hear somebody hire you for a work, viewers, the equipment is for sale. Somebody hire you for a work, you're using your backhoe, your bucket to dig wherever it is, and you have your blade in front to actually grade a road. So that's 2 jobs in one. Imagine that. 2 jobs in one. Whoever hired you, right, you don't need a backhoe. You have something already on this excavator attached onto it to grade the road. That grader there will grade a nice, smooth road for you. Remember that, viewers. Real Talk Equipment, it is for sale. You can contact me at 3391670 or you can call the office at 2386716. 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. viewers for any information you need. Also, we have a beautiful truck. It's a wrecker and a crane truck. This truck can do 2 types of jobs. If somebody run off the road or in an accident, they can call you. You can wreck their wreck. You can wreck their vehicle as a wrecker. Also, viewers, if you have a contract work or somebody can hire you to move some heavy piece of equipment, some heavy metal, whatever it is, barrels, you can hook it up with your crane, drop it on your tray, and transport it. So that's 2 jobs in one this truck is actually doing. As I said, viewers, there's Real Talk Equipment Rental. Also call the office 2386716 from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, and you can get more information on this. So as we start back our program tonight, is it a tit for tat with both opposition and present government? Listen to this. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that murder will not be eliminated during a state of emergency, but runaway crime would be arrested. Rowley noted that opposition leaders said that since he was in office, he was responsible for 5,000 plus deaths. But if one takes the statement logically, he said, then he said the member for Siparia is responsible for 2,435 deaths. Call a good night. Hello? Stick your get the click one time. Now, the PM said that nobody knows what life would have been saved. And when you look at the number, the SOE of 2011 did not put an end to the behavior of criminals.
My colleague from Siparia made some comments which ought not to go unchallenged, because it is easy to be critical, but there has to be logic. My colleague made reference to the fact that I, as Prime Minister, for the period that I've been in office, I am responsible for, 4,000 deaths or 5,000 deaths? Yeah, okay. But if one takes that statement logically, then I would say that the member for Siparia is responsible for 2,435 deaths. Because during her term of office, that is what happened. We lost 2,435 people. But the member went on to say that we have a state of emergency And it was said that we should have had it before and lives would have been saved. That is conjecture. Because nobody knows exactly what life would have been saved. And when you look at the numbers, it didn't put an end to the behavior of the criminals. The state of emergency of 2011 did not put an end to the behavior of the criminals.
Rowley noted that in 2010, there were 474 murders, and in 2011, the murder dropped to 379. He said immediately after the SOE expired, the murder toll rose to 407 in 2012, 403 in 2013, and 420 in 2014. The PM said the government still had not finished paying millions of dollars to people who sued the state for SOE, which was called by the UNC government. He called on the opposition to do their duty and said crime was a serious matter which is not going anywhere by just pointing fingers at one another. Now, the PM added, God alone knows what would have happened if his government had not intervened and declared a state of emergency. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual. And I want to compliment you on your program, and because the opposition leader, the opposition politicians are looking at your program, because all what was said on your program long before, from day one of the SOE,
correct,
we are now hearing it from the opposition leader, that what result we will achieve from this SOE, and this SOE is to protect criminals. I want the opposition leader to understand another issue about this SOE. It is to give to police officers, each police officers will collect at least $25,000 in overtime. This is an incentive for them to go out and campaign on behalf of the Balize Mafia organization with their family in the neighborhood and all over, to campaign on behalf of the Balize Mafia organization. But we must never forget, opposition leader, that we have a police service, a state agency with only 5% Indians. So you tell me 95% are the PNM supporters. So if the Balize Mafia think the citizens of this country are fools and stupid, you're wasting your time. Mr. Said, you keep up the great program, good program. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, listen to this video.
This is a serious matter, and it's not going to go away by just pointing fingers at people and at one another. The criminals know as long as we're doing that, they have the edge. They know that. They know as long as we see them as victims, they have the edge. And they have no sympathy for us, the law-abiding. So today, in this motion, we are required to take note of the President of the Republic being convinced that on that situation of December 30th and the days ahead, God alone knows what would have happened if we hadn't intervened. So I can't tell you how many lives have been saved, but I know that on that occasion, the government took the action to give the police and the defense force additional leeway.
Now, viewers, he also stated that before, police officers face difficulties in getting warrants. Listen to this.
Madam Speaker, I don't want to tell you the difficulties some police officers have in getting a warrant to go after people who they believe should be apprehended in quick order. When you're taking 2 and 3 days to get a warrant, by the time you get it, and worse, some people give the criminals a heads up that somebody coming to get a warrant for you. That's our society. We remove that or largely eliminate it so the police can move quickly on information to protect the public, the innocent public. And in many instances, people who are endangering others, sometimes without regard for their own lives. Because when you engage armed police officers in a firefight with weapons, lives can be lost on both sides. But there are some people who don't care. But we in the government, we have to care for every single life in this country.
Moving along. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that some police officers are now pretending to close the station to hide from criminals. The PM said criminals have become so brazen that they believe they can, without fear, shoot and kill even the police. Rowley revealed that officers in various police stations in some districts at night are so afraid of criminals that they close the police station door, turn off the lights, and be inside there, hoping that criminals don't come at them. He added that when lawbreakers chose as their place of attack to be in front of a police station, it tells you they have no regard for law enforcement in our society.
So when officers are in the police station, it has come to my attention in some districts, some instances, police officers whose job it is to protect us and to secure us in some districts at night are so afraid of the criminals that they close the police station door, turn off the light, and be inside there hoping that the criminals don't come at them. That happens. Madam Speaker, it's not supposed to happen, but it happens. And Madam Speaker, the criminals come in front of the police station, choose it. I'm not speaking to you, I know you're happy with it. Madam Speaker, I'm speaking to you. Madam Speaker, when citizens identifying themselves as lawbreakers choose their place of attack to be in front of a major police station inside the city and to carry out an attack using the most sophisticated killing weapons, it tells you, Madam Speaker, that they have no regard for law enforcement in our society.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let's have a little discussion. Now listen to this. Criminal would have gotten the intention from law enforcement that the law enforcement cannot do us anything. How did they arrive to this conclusion? How? Now listen to this. By hearing the Commissioner of Police telling us that she failed in her strategies to combat criminal activity in Trinidad and Tobago. When we are seeing in Trinidad that criminal elements have started to take a different toll on the citizens of this country, and TTPS cannot handle them. When we have a lackadaisical head, you get lackadaisical what? Production. Minister of National Security said it is not his job to make us feel safe, but it is his job to make sure the country is safe. And there's a difference. It is his job to make sure that the country is safe. Why? Because you are the Minister of National Security. Your portfolio is security. Your portfolio is border protection. Your portfolio is TTPS, Coast Guard, the Army, the regiment, however you want to call it. Security Arms of Trinidad and Tobago is your portfolio. So therefore, your job is to make sure the country is safe from terrorists, bandits, illegal gun, prostitution, drugs, cocaine. That is your job. Now to the Minister of National Security. Have you been doing your job to input fears into the hearts of the criminal individuals in Trinidad and Tobago, a country that you say you are proud of? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that, Mr. Minister. Fitzgerald Hines, now the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago, which is our Prime Minister. Has our Prime Minister been active in his portfolio as the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago? Has he been questioning the Minister of National Security about a job being done to secure our country? Has he? I'll tell you this. When fear is inputted in a criminal individual from the Protection Service of Trinidad and Tobago, that criminal will think twice. Trust me, they will think twice if they pick up a gun or not. How come under Gary Griffith, a former minister, a former commissioner of police, and also a former minister of national security, how come we didn't have this big rival? How come? Because Gary would set it straight. He would come for you. He imparted fear into the hearts of criminal individuals. And that made a difference. That made a difference. There are people who love their job. And there are people who just like their job. Me, I love mine being here, educating you. Now, Rowley said, this has led to the belief that the regular law are not sufficient to deal with harshness of criminal element. He lamented the difficult his government has faced in dealing with murders. You see, Rowley, I'm going to tell you something again. It's how you deal with this situation. It is how you deal with a situation. You have the intelligence unit, you have the police station, you gather your information, you pack it in you type it up on a paper, you pack it in a box, and you sweep it under a desk, and it stays right there. You don't deal with information like that. You act on information. Act, meaning move forward with the little intelligence you get, so you could get more while going forward. He acknowledged, however, that some people believe solving crime is a straightforward task, but insists what we are seeing is the cancer is spreading. Listen to this.
I know there are some people who believe that this is easy to get rid of. But if it was so easy to get rid of, we would have gotten rid of it already. But instead, what we're seeing, the cancer is spreading. My fault, your fault, anybody's fault. The bottom line is, this is what is happening. And when we decide to have a state of emergency, we did take note of how could we have the additional powers for the defense force, the additional access for the police, going after the criminals who are seen to be the offenders, who would be detained without affecting, as far as we are able to, the general public.
Now Trinidad and Tobago, again I say, we need production, we don't need mouth say. Mouth say and production is two different things. The PM further stated that because the government called a state of E means the murder will end. Trinidad and Tobago is not about the SOE, you know. It's not about the SOE. They are 9 years in office and crime just escalates. 9 years in office. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers. But when we come back, we're going to hear from the Minister of National Security. Hines assured SOE Detention Center fit for use. After this.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690, or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I am proud to say Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on fixed deposit, viewers. Remember, we are the only financial institute in Trinidad and Tobago is allowing a 5% on fixed deposit. And the good thing about this Trinidad and Tobago, you are going to get your interest up front. That is it, your interest up front. Where are you getting this? Absolutely no financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago can be able to match 5% on any fixed deposit. You ask for more, Real Talk Finance is giving you more. Also, viewers, another division that has been launched under the Real Talk group of company is that Real Talk is buying crash and damaged vehicles. You have a crashed vehicle, you have a damaged vehicle, we are willing to take it from you. So this is another company that Real Talk Group has launched, viewers. Now this is a very unique company, but because they are scrapyards and things that will give you little and nothing for your vehicle. Good? So we at Real Talk, we have value for your vehicle. Even though it's crashed, it may seem as nothing to you, but to us, it means something. So viewers, you can contact me at 339-1670. You can WhatsApp 267-7325 to get more information and give us more information about your crashed vehicle. Remember that, only at Real Talk. Also, viewers, Real Talk Equipment has this beautiful excavator for sale. It's a 306E, it's a new model. You have the long arm with the bucket in front. And plus, attached onto this excavator is a grader. So you can actually grade a road around the pond that you're digging. You know, you get contracted to dig a pond. You dig a pond and you could actually grade a road with this excavator. Trinidad and Tobago, contractors looking for an excavator to buy. Any individual, you are interested in doing excavating work, you want to open a construction company, this is the perfect piece of equipment for you. 306E excavator, there's a grader to the front of this. It's fully air-conditioned, viewers. Contact me at 339-1670, Real Talk Equipment Rental, from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Remember that. Also, Real Talk Equipment has this beautiful truck for sale, viewers. Now, this is one of my truck that has been a little prized possession to me. Right? Now, look at the condition of this truck. Look at the prestige condition of this piece of equipment. This piece of equipment, viewers, you can actually do two jobs with this. You can transport heavy equipment. You have a crane to lift pipe, barrel, vehicle, steel, lumber, whatever it is. You can lift it with the crane, rest it on the tray, and do a transport work with it. That is number one. Number two, this beautiful truck is also a wrecker. So if somebody run off the road, you could get a job as a wrecker to transport a run-off vehicle. You could always use the crane to pull out the vehicle, depends on the distance the vehicle is. Imagine this, you even total a 25-seater bus. A 25-seater bus with this truck, as long as it's 7 ton. This is a 7-ton Isuzu truck, viewers. Contact Real Talk Equipment, 4:30 a.m. From 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Trinidad and Tobago. For more information, 339-1670. So we're going back to our more or less final story for tonight, viewers. Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines have stated that Raymond Prison in Golden Grove and the Carrera Island, the convict prison, are suitable as designated detention centers during the state of emergency. He made this comment in response to a question from Oropouche East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal in the House of Representatives. Hines said that he was informed by the administration of the prison service that the facilities are suitable for occupants. The minister said there are some items that have been identified for repair and refurbishment and are currently being addressed. Hines.
Madam Speaker, let me state from the outset that on matters such as these, I take my timing, my guidance from the administration of the prison service as opposed to any other entity or individual. I have been informed by the administration of the prison service that the two facilities referred to in this urgent question are suitable for occupation as we speak. As a matter of fact, they are under occupation as we speak. But of course, repairs and refurbishment is always an ongoing process, and there are some items that have been identified for repair and refurbishment, and they are being addressed promptly. Thank you.
Now, viewers, Munilal asked if Hines was aware that the Prison Officers Association claimed the problem at Golden Grove include a non-functional alarm and a leaking roof, but Hines said he was not been advised by the administration of the prison service. Speaker Bridget Anasa George then disallowed a question from MP Munilal about the number of persons detained since the SOE was declared on December 30th. Hines.
Would the minister indicate the number of persons detained since December 30th at the start of the state of emergency?
Member for Oropouche, I rule that question out of order in light of your original question responses. These are urgent questions.
It is sad at Trinidad and Tobago. It is just sad that the UNC opposition, Rudal Munilal, asked Mr. Hines, could you give us a detail as to how many people have been held for the last 15 days of the SOE? You're going to tell me Bridget Anasa George would get up her tail from her chair to stop a question that would cause Trinidad and Tobago to get some information concerning the SOE and how many people have been arrested to be dropped just like that. Just like that. You see, I'll tell you something. What the citizen needs is information. And I have noticed that Bridget and Sir George, from time to time, would downplay the UNC for asking for information. For who? The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. It's stinking sad. It's stinking sad that we have a speaker who would refuse information to be transferred from the PNM to the UNC. That the individuals of Trinidad and Tobago could have access to. So I would ask Bridget on national television, how many people have been held with the SOE for the last 15 days, Bridget? You think you could come out and give a media briefing as to 1 people, 100 people, 500 people have been held, Bridget? You see, this is where I now side would label you on national television. You know why? For preventing information from coming in the public domain that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago would like to know. So if you don't want Mr. Khan answer the question, to answer the question, I'm asking you, I side asking you, Bridget. You're the House Speaker. And if the Minister of National Security can't reveal that information, well then I guess you know the information. So I'm going to ask you tonight, as we show it live, how much people have been held for the last 15 days in the SOE. How much have been facing the magistrate? How much had an actual case built on them? Bridget, open your mouth. Blah, blah your tongue. Blah, blah your tongue now. Heinz can answer it. Well, I'm hoping you answer it, my dear. I'm hoping you answer it. It's stinking sad that you would stand up and block a question like that. For the last 15 days, how many criminal elements have been held and went before the court? How many of them had a case built against them? How many of them have to go back to the courthouse? How many of them were released? Bridget, you there? It's sad you had to get loud up, ain't? It's really sad. No information passing in the public domain. All because of you. You felt it was so powerful. You felt so powerful and so confident that you know what? I go shut up Monilal. I go shut up Monilal. Trinidad and Tobago don't need to know this information. As long as the police know it, we good. Really? So then why the Prime Minister call a state of emergency when the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago fell in it? Why? You see, I just always have a tongue for educated people, you know. But you see when you hear they start to act foolish, and you see when you hear they start to act with all this big set of power on them, I will put you in your place. One time I'll put you in your place. And I saw this on many occasions. COVID-19, oh God, we got disaster. She didn't want Trinidad and Tobago to know no information really. But it's sad. You see, at the end of the day, they rather get old with knowledge. And when they start to get senile and start to forget, is where eyesight is be laughing. You know why? When you share knowledge, God will give you knowledge. And when you play too big in power, God knows how to cut you down. I tell you that on national television. It's sad. It's really stinking sad. I would like to know how many people get held under the SOE. I would like to know how many people facing the magistrate on our SOE. I would like to know how many people. Yes, I would like to know. But we have a blocker. I just call him a blocker. When somebody blocking, you just call him a blocker. But that is a blocker. I don't care, you can say what you want. I know you can't do nothing because everybody see just now. Everybody see just now. It's sad. It's sad. Trinidad and Tobago citizens should rename you as Blocker, or Miss Blocker, or Mrs. Blocker. Stinking sad when you have people blocking information. It really stinking sad. But I guess your little group of people will uplift you while 1 point something million people watching air. Why is she blocking a question that answers we needed? Your circle small. You better stay in your circle. You will benefit from them. Not the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, we have about 5 minutes in our program tonight. But I want to talk a little bit about the investment Real Talk is having. But before I go to that, let me just spend a couple seconds on this. The police are investigating increased threat against prison officers after a warning was issued last week. As part of the effort to mitigate these threats, a search was conducted on Sunday at the maximum security prison MSP in Aruca. The operation lasted for about 4 hours, beginning at 10 a.m. and ending around 2 p.m. 39 cell phones were seized. Additionally, several phone chargers, SIM cards, packs of cigarettes and roll-on cigarettes containing marijuana were confiscated. Improvised weapons which can be used to harm other prisoners or prison officers were also found during the search. Unapproved medical drugs, not sanctioned by prison authority, were seized as well. Okay, Lester Logie, General Secretary of the Prisoner Officers Association, said, the search within the prison are being ramped up in response to the threat to the lives of prison officers. Sources also indicated that ongoing searches are part of efforts to locate a cell phone allegedly used by a gang member in Building 13 of the MSP, where recently its order have been issued against prison officers. Imagine that. Imagine that. But nevertheless, that's their case to deal with. So Trinidad and Tobago, Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. Oh, yeah, straight up. Now, viewers, I want to let you understand something. The reason why we introduced this 5% was to give you, the citizens, more value for the money that you have put to work for you. Now, there's a picture on screen. I want you all to look at it. Look at the meaning of savings and look at the meaning of investing. Saving meaning put your money to rest. You see, when you hear you put your money in the bank, you put it to rest as a savings. You put it to rest there until further notice. You're not getting anything, but you're there resting like a dead. Now, investing means put your money to work for you. When you invest in Real Talk Financing at an interest rate of 5%, your money is working for you. You are getting, number one, the highest interest rate in Trinidad and Tobago. Number two, you are getting the interest up front. Number three, you can take that interest up front, pay down on a car, pay down on education, pay down on a course, do repairs to your house, go on a vacation. That is where you call your investment working for you. It's where you put your money to work for who? For you. That is why we at Real Talk are offering you 5% on fixed. No other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is going to show you that. You have to wait 10 years to get your interest. By the time that your heart could stop, you could get a stroke, you could die. And who would benefit from it? Sometimes the one that you expect to benefit from it, they don't even benefit from it. You understand? So here's the reason why. No, this is a financial tip that you're getting for free. You don't want to pay for it. You don't want to pay for it. But it's just to show you the kind of knowledge Saieed have. Having 30 to 35 years. Being in finance. This is what I'm giving you. Put your money to work for you instead of your saving. Yes, you need savings where you could go into the bank and dip and pull out, yes. But when you have a large amount put down in the bank and it's just there saving, you get nothing. So Trinidad and Tobago, this is from me to you. Now, it is that time where we have to say goodbye. Tomorrow we run 11:30, 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here in the afternoon for a live show. Real Talk with Saieed. Good night.